before we present or welcome CPS to this presentation. Robert, you back to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve, for that intro. My name is Robert Chury, and I'm based here in Columbus, Ohio. And I'm a founder of Global Diaspora One Voice Consortium, the organization that is affiliated with CPS Diaspora. The organization, as Steve has mentioned, CPS Diaspora is promoting CPS Zanzibar. And thank you very much, Mr. Sebastian Dietzold and your team. We are glad and very, very happy with the development and the opportunities that you have created for all of us in Zanzibar, and also creating that ecosystem, sustainable ecosystem that is there for future development. We cannot take that for granted. It's a big, big opportunity, and that is why when we learned about this not too long ago, we as a CPS Diaspora decided that we will promote this project in as much as we can in all the forums that we have in the diaspora. And this is one of those forums where most of these people that have been invited here were attending another conference in South Carolina, where they were able to learn about CPS Zanzibar. So without wasting a lot of time, let me give this time to Mr. Sebastian Dietzold to introduce the rest of the team from CPS Zanzibar and the role that they play, and then he can be able to make the presentation. Welcome, Mr. Sebastian.
I think it's
Marcel, you're muted.
You're muted.
Sorry, guys.
Okay,
Maybe
okay.
we can, I'm now here, you can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect. Robert, Steve, I wanted to thank you again for making this possible. This is a great opportunity for us. It's a great opportunity for Zanzibar, for Tanzania. And I believe it's a great opportunity for diaspora in general to talk and exchange information, opportunities for investments back in the motherland, let's say. Let me shortly introduce my team, which is here today. Naila, I'm very happy she joins us because for her this is a very important Sikufu, very important holiday today in Mubarak. Naila, thank you for joining us. Naila is one of our oldest sales consultants who's been with us from the first moment Fumba started. So we're very proud to have her. She's a fantastic sales consultant. She knows everything about Fumba and our projects, about CPS. And she's there for you for any questions you might have after this. I've seen Fatma before and Kevin, who are management of CPS sales, supporting our clients around the globe with information and questions about investment opportunities here in Tanzania and Zanzibar. And then you see my brother Tobias, who is the CCO of CPS, Chief Commercial Officer, overseeing marketing, sales, and also IT and the technical development. So we're all here today, and we're happy to see you all. And yes, I'm happy to go ahead. I have a small presentation prepared for you. I don't know, we are, I think, 16 people today. More might join. I think it's great if everybody who doesn't, if I might do the presentation, if you mute your phones or your Zoom, because that makes it less interruptions here. And if more people join, I'm happy to join this presentation with you, Robert and Steve, after this, or anyone who wants to have it. So you can share this with more people. Oh, I'm muted again. Sharing the good news about investment opportunities here in Zanzibar. So, do you want me to start, Robert, Steve?
Yeah. You can start. You can go ahead. We'll ask the participants. If you have any questions, please put them on the chat for Mr. Sebastian and the team. So please do that. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, I hope you see my screen.
It's really
Fantastic. So, we're talking today about Zanzibar in specific, CPS is a developer, and our task is to create homes and communities. And we're talking not about houses in the States because we want people to have homes and many people to join in creating new fantastic communities that are very strong, that are very so safe, that are very sustainable, like you said, Robert, before, and that are accessible to all. And accessible, we mean people with different sizes of pockets. We mean people from different locations, from different religious or historical backgrounds. This is a place where we want it to be accessible to all. Our aspirational and successful real estate projects here in Tanzania are adding value for people. That's very important. So everybody who invests here has to have added value. Then investments have to increase and appreciate. So we can build an environment worth living, but not only for the investor, but also for the communities around us that are already here in Tanzania, in Zanzibar, wherever we're doing our community building, our new communities. Let me quickly share with you what are our core values. So in CPS, everything starts with the heart, right? We are very passionate about what we do. We love what we do. We believe in what we do, and we want to create something beautiful. We are, I'm sitting now here. We are obsessed with impact, right? So we want to create beautiful things. We are trailblazers. We're doing things for the first time. I think Kumbaton is the first town, soon going to be a city, designed from scratch on permaculture principles. I will talk more about that. This is about earth care, people care, and fair share. It's the values we're carrying. And green is a currency, so it is very important that it's sustainable, that it is green, that it's environmentally friendly, that we're protecting the environment around us. And the environment is the nature, surely, but it is also the communities and the people, the ecosystem around where we are doing our developments. Very shortly about our company. So we are a family company, very simple company, family company. Like I think you know many of them in the US. The family company, our roots are in Germany, but our heart is in Tanzania. We're determined to positively impact the housing market here in Tanzania together with all our investors from around the globe with a resilient and a sustainable approach. So this is very, very important for us. We are not shareholder driven, shareholder value driven. We are really driven on value. And of course, we have teams like you see today. Naila is in Zanzibar, Kevin is in Nairobi, Tobias in Zanzibar, Mia in Dar es Salaam. We are in Kenya, in Zanzibar, in Tanzania at the moment with a big team. In total, all our companies, all our sister companies, employing more than 450 people already. So we've created really substantial impact. And this is what we can invite you to join in, right? Every investor joining in adds to that impact we're creating here in Tanzania. We're the fastest selling developer in Tanzania and the largest private developer in Tanzania. We're a benchmark investor in Zanzibar. We have a strategic investment status in Zanzibar. There's only very few who reach that status. And we have been shortlisted as the best developer in emerging markets in Cityscape 2016. This is a while ago. We very happy to go back to those guys. Cityscape is one of the biggest real estate exhibitions in the world in Dubai, happening from time to time. So this is a little bit about CPS, but now let me tell you a little bit also about our motivation, right? Today, urbanization is occurring in Africa faster and on a larger scale than anywhere else in human history. So this is really big, right? According to one media projection, at the end of the century, Africa will have the 3 largest cities in the world. One of them is going to be Lagos, the other one is going to be Dar es Salaam, and the other one is going to be Kinshasa. All of these cities will have more than 60 million people. Dar es Salaam is estimated to have 76 million people. So growth is really happening here. It's a prime investment destination with the growth and potential. If you look at the world map, I hope you can see it nicely. This is as of today. So all the biggest cities in the world you'll find in Asia today. There's a few big cities in the US where you are today, but the biggest cities in the world today are all in Asia, right? In 2100, this will have changed. All the biggest cities in the world are going to be in Africa, right? So if you're thinking about investment, if you're thinking about Tanzania or Zanzibar's investment opportunity, invest where the music is playing, right? And the music is playing here in Africa. And the music is definitely playing in Tanzania and in Zanzibar. This is where growth really happens. We see massive movements. Our economies are growing very, very fast. And this is where especially investment in real estate, looking at that growth, is substantially the right thing to do. I always say, if you invest in real estate in Africa, let's say not with us in CPS in Zanzibar, but anywhere in Africa, if you invest in agriculture, these are two investments you cannot go wrong. Right? You cannot go wrong. And they are going to pay off, and they're secure. And of course, you have to find the right developer, the right project to work with. But these are potential, very valuable developments. I've just prepared a small chart for you here. I'm going to share this. I'm not going to talk a lot about these numbers, but here you see those orange bars. Yes, that shows the growth, the economic growth, GDP growth, real GDP growth of the world in average. Then you have the dotted line. These are the emerging markets, and then you have the big black line. Right? This is East Africa. So East Africa is outperforming the average world performance and even the performance of emerging markets at the moment. So it's not, East Africa is not only the area where growth will happen in terms of population and demand for housing. It is also the area which today already outperforms in economic growth most of the places in the world. Right? So it is very, very good, because when you often think about Africa, I think they're not a bit, they're laid back, or they're not as developed yet. Yes, that is all correct. Right? But this is also the massive opportunity, right? Because this is where the music is going to play. So I can really just invite everyone in one way or the other to look for an opportunity. And this is what we're doing in real estate. We're offering opportunities that are substantial, they're solid, and they're safe, secure, and accessible to all. Let's now quickly jump into Kumba Town, our flagship development in Zanzibar at the moment. You see already a picture here. This is how Kumba Town looked a few years ago. I have to update that picture. I have more updated pictures for you in the presentation. A new town in Africa, a new town in Zanzibar, and it has become your place in Africa, because Kumba Town has attracted people now from more than 60 countries to come and invest, and to come and make this their home, and come and make this a place where they want to be. And we have a lot of African Americans, we have a lot of Tanzanians from Europe, some kind of background in Africa, who have some kind of background in Tanzania, who don't have a connection anymore, but want to have a connection again back home, right? I remember I met this gentleman in Washington last year at a small presentation I was giving. And he was like, during Corona, he sat with his wife, and they were looking for, that they wanted their kids to grow up in Africa and find a place back home to connect again to Mother Africa, right? They'd never been to Africa. And they were looking at Ghana, then they were looking at Kenya, and then they found Pumba somehow on the internet. And his wife is now living in Arusha, North Tanzania. The kids are going to school there. They're super happy. They're learning Kiswahili. They started learning Swahili in Washington. He's coming up and down. He's bought a few properties in Pumba. They have really appreciated heavily. So they really made money already by investing here with us in Zanzibar. And he's preparing the step for the whole, or what he's preparing the way. He says, latest in 10 years, his whole family will have moved back. So he has a 10-year plan of moving back to Tanzania, moving back to Africa. This is how we started. This was Kumba in 2015. And you see there was just bush, total greenfield development. We built 2 show houses. Then we started selling. I connected before. It took me 4 years to get all the license permits in place. At that time, it was not allowed for foreigners to buy in Zanzibar property. We had to change that law. Right? It was not allowed to do these kind of investments. So we had to change the law. Even the government approached me and they said, Sebastian, you have to push us along. We want that. We need that. Zanzibar needs the housing market to develop. And I was sitting every Saturday morning, 11 o'clock, I was sitting under the tree. This was my first office, what you're seeing here, with the elders of the villages that are adjacent to our development. And we were just talking and eating oranges from the tree and mangoes, and talking and including them and informing them what is going to happen. 2 of them have unfortunately already passed away in the meantime, but the others are all working for us. They're still part of the community until today. And this is where it all started. Then created a big master plan. We believe that every solid city, every solid town needs to be on a very solid foundation, and that is the infrastructure. So this is only the master plan for infrastructure. Right? We built sewer lines for, yeah, I think the country has full sewer reticulation in Zanzibar.
You said why we started.
Welcome. He created a central fresh water supply to every house, right? So beautiful water, and we're sharing our water with the villages that are adjacent to development. We built a beautiful road network in town. Of course, and the most important, optic fiber internet to every home, because today one of the most important infrastructure points we need is solid internet connection, right? So we can do what we're doing right now, talking to people around the world, talking to our families back home or wherever, or even working. Just met that couple last week during our Easter celebration from San Francisco. They moved back here, and I said, "What are you guys doing here?" "Yeah, I'm doing the same job. I'm still working for the company in San Francisco, but I want to live here." Right? So he works for the company in San Francisco. He used to work there, but he now lives here with his family. They bought a home, and they live here, and they love it here because I can tell you the quality of life in Tanzania is fantastic. Right? It's a very safe place in Zanzibar, especially, and it's beautiful, and you have nature, and especially for kids to grow up, it's fantastic. So after we did all the infrastructure, then we started construction. That's me when I was younger. That was a couple of years ago, right? Starting the construction in Fumba, you see a lot of people got jobs, and I prepared a small clip. I hope it will work over the distance if our internet is strong enough to show you what Fumba is and show you what Fumba is about.
Hi, my name is Frank. Welcome to Fumba Town. Something is wrong here. Nah, this must be it. So here, it's where it all started a few years ago, with nothing but a dream of a whole town, an inclusive town, and a safe town, a place where all kinds of people can come and live together in a beautiful environment. Ha, this is more like it. And now, a few years later, this dream has become a reality. And yes, it's quite real. Come on, let me show you now. In Fumba, we have all kinds of units, from studio apartments to luxurious villas. Our clients from 50 different countries have invested in and have actually started to occupy the town, fitting into life. Exciting! Hello, how do you do? You just moved in here. I'm a newbie.
So Sherman is our town manager. Her team ensures that all the public areas and infrastructures are well functioning and maintained. They also offer rental and property management services to our clients.
Can you believe that this park is only 3 years old? This is the work of a fantastic permaculture team who turn our waste into the most fertile soil. If you want to know more about permaculture and how it's integrated within the town, you need to have a chat with Franklin, but bring some time with you. And it's not just pretty. Here we grow organic fruits and vegetables for our residents. Let's taste and see. Mmm, delicious. So this is the best part of my day. At Puerto Bueno, we know I like to hang out and relax after a very long day. By the way, would you like to catch the sunset? No, I got bounce. Isn't this stunning? Yes, this is Fumba Town, where dreams become reality. The reality that belongs to you.
that is Fumba, a small impression to show you what's going on, that it's real, it is totally real. Um, this is a very current picture, so we have now more than 600 residential units built, so it's really, it's growing very fast. The first phase, which was designed for 200 units, is now designed for 2,100 units. And you know why? Because demand is growing so strong. People want to live, want to have a home, at least to have a place already here, even if they don't make the move right away, but to have something. Because while you're not there, you can rent it out, and we're finding good rent opportunities for it. So people, if they buy, they have it, they rent it out, it appreciates every year, and once they need a place back home, they have a place. In total, we're planning at the moment to build more than 5,000 units, but that can still change. We have our first beach launch. It's called Creative Bueno Chill, which is super successful, and people love it to chill and see the sunsets in the evening. We have our first commercial center open with a medical clinic in there, with offices, supermarkets, spas, and shops and other shops in there. So all this, the facilities are now coming also into place. So it's very easy, very beautiful to live in town. We have more than 550 handed units handed over. Roughly, I think this number is also already have more than 500 people already living in town, more than 62 nationalities now. So this is one of the most diverse communities you can imagine, with people coming together to find their place in Africa. Now, I want to quickly show you what we have. And I'm starting with the top end. So we have beautiful villas. They're called Bustani villas. Bustani means garden in Swahili. So these are the garden villas. They're starting at $396,000. We have a few left, not too many. I know this is quite expensive, but I can tell you already, I'll show you that in the end. So we offer payment plans between 2 and 3 years that are interest free, and you can pay along. And we are also very accommodating. If you want a different payment plan, we will look at what you can do, how we can accommodate you, because you are important to us. We know that you want a place in Africa, and we want to make this happen. And very brand new, just launched last week, the beautiful Vizazi Oasis, a beautiful townhouse on 3 stories where you can combine working and family. This is really driven with what we learned from the pandemic time of Corona, that you had to be home often, working from home office, but you want to live at the same time, or you want to have a small apartment where your parents can live and you live with the family on top. So very flexible, generation home, beautifully designed. The new Vizazi Oasis starting at $193,000. A fantastic townhouse over 3 stories with beautiful roof terraces. Then we have one of our best sellers, also townhouse. These are apartments in 2-story homes. They're called Moyoni homes. Moyoni means in the heart. It's basically in the heart of the city. It's a small community with itself, has their own small pool and community building. Beautifully designed homes called Moyoni homes, starting at $101,900. You can choose if you want them as 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, or 3 bedroom, totally flexible. And they're ready built. You can see them, you can come and see, and people are living there. And of course, our Mwangani apartments, this is where I live when I'm in Zanzibar at the moment. They're starting at $67,900. We used to have more affordable units, but they're all sold at the moment. So Mwangani apartments, studios, 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms, and also a few penthouses still available. Very beautiful apartments, appreciating extremely fast and very high demand also in terms of renting. And then, of course, very exciting, our Che apartments starting at $44,900. This is really our entry product. It's a new product that is very exciting. It's on 4 stories with beautiful private courtyards and has shops on the outside, which you can also buy a shop or rent a shop. So you have shops and business downstairs, and people live on top, creating a new bazaar there. The first buildings will be up hopefully beginning of next year, so you can come and see them. They are selling extremely well because this is a fantastic price for a beautiful apartment. And then we also have all the different versions. We have shops that will do Dukas in Swahili. We have studios, we have 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms in different variations. Naila and the team, they can assist you if you're interested. You can find, of course, a lot on our website, www.kumba.town. There's a lot of information there, but our sales consultants, they are happy to show everything we have to you in detail. And last but not least, we have exciting new product, um, which we launched in August last year in Oman. And let me quickly show you this with a short clip. Beautiful. The tour of Zanzibar, coming to Zanzibar, it's going to be the next level of what we're developing, starting at only $91,900 for an apartment. The tallest, it's going to be the tallest hybrid timber tower in the world. You know, the world is changing. We are living in a world of climate change. Also, the construction industry is looking how can we build things in a more sustainable way. So we're moving to engineer timber, mass timber. Our team was just 2 weeks ago in Portland at the biggest mass timber conference in the US, and global mass timber conference where you know all this. And the board is being discussed there. The board is going to be discussed in South Africa. So having a board, an apartment, the board in Zanzibar is going to be a global brand. Right? People know about it. It's the highest hybrid timber town in the world today. If you build it today, there's a big race happening. And they're going to have 28 floors, 95 meters high. And believe me, the views are absolutely breathtaking. It's going to be fully serviced and secured on top of the security that is ready in Kumba. You have your private roofed garden and amenities for residents, highly durable and maximized comfort. The building is basically designed and built designed in the US and in Germany, built in Austria and Europe, with the best technology of timber, and then assembled in Zanzibar. But we want to create with that an awareness for the technology to create that industry here in Tanzania. Right? We don't want, we love Europe, we love the US, but our target is, of course, to create industry and economy support here in Tanzania. This is what we want to achieve. It's green, it's responsible construction technology, right? It's decarbonizing, has zero carbon footprint. It's designed to European and American standards. So this building, as it is designed, could be built somewhere in the US, could be built somewhere in Europe. It's produced in Austria and assembled in Zanzibar. It's a global architectural landmark. Stunning sea views from all apartments, and that for $91,000. So these are amazing things. I'm summarizing and winding up here my presentation. I just want to quickly tell you what is it actually you're getting. So Kumba Town Development, your place in Africa, safe and secure investment under the Zanzibar Investment Protection Act. So this project is fully registered, fully legal, and it has been checked by the Omani government, by European governments. We have been selling to people all around the world. We have issued more than 1,000 title deeds. So this is not a new story. This concept, this town development is a proven investment. People love it, and they're selling every single month since August 2015. There's high returns on investment with an average annual appreciation of the value. Right? People who bought townhouses with us in 2018, 2017, the value has already doubled. Some of them have the value has already tripled. Right? So don't wait too long. Of course, that appreciation is going to continue, but you can still get. I'm not sure how long we will still be able to sell apartments for $44,000 with the current inflation, the current price trends, especially also building materials. So very high returns on investment with an average annual appreciation of 10 to 15%. We have town operations in place, like a municipal, overseen and managed by the homeowners association. Everybody who becomes a homeowner, who buys, will automatically be part of that homeowners association. Those homeowners, they are electing a council that represents them. That council oversees the town operations. Basically, you can imagine the building like a municipal, right? So the inhabitants of the city are electing the city council. The city council elects the mayor, and the mayor and the city council are running the town. They're assigning companies for security. They're assigning companies for street cleaning. They're assigning companies for this and this. This is how it runs. So the town belongs to you. When you invest, you own this town. Property rental and management services are also available. There's different companies. CPS partially also offering property rental services. There's companies offering Airbnb rental services and others. If you want to open a property management company or Airbnb business in Pumba, you're very welcome to do so. So these are private businesses that are coming up offering services to our tenants. So if you buy, but you live in Ohio or you live in New York, you can give your property to these people and they rent it out and they look after you and they send you the rental income to wherever you want it to. Right? Very important, Tanzania and Zanzibar. Any money as a foreign investor you earn, you can repatriate anytime. You can take it freely to any place in the world. Right? There are places in Africa like Ethiopia where this is not possible at the moment, and maybe there's other places. But very clearly here, your investment is highly protected in Tanzania and Zanzibar. Nobody will take it back from you. And anything you earn with this investment, the money you can take, repatriate to any place where you want to have it. Right? So you're free, completely free. We have a very diverse international community. I talked about that already with homeowners from more than 60 countries. So when you go down to that Filipino chill, to our beach lounge, you're going to meet people from all over the place. You're going to meet the most wonderful people. It's so exciting and it's so beautiful to meet those people who live and who have invested in Phuket. It is beautifully located along a stunning seafront. We have a 1.5-kilometer seafront, and it's very close to the white sand beaches of the East Coast. And parts are beautiful when you want to go kite surfing on the weekend, or snorkeling, or diving, or whatever, just walking on the beach. And of course, the very known and very beautiful World Heritage Site under UN World Heritage, Stone Town, the old town of Zanzibar. Extremely beautiful. We have now excellent health services in Tanzania and in Zanzibar. I've talked to Europeans, even Germans, South Africans who had, like a friend of mine, she got a pacemaker last summer. She could have done that in South Africa, but she said the services she got in Dar es Salaam were better than what she would have gotten in South Africa. So we have very good services now here, right? We have a lot of education facilities that are drawing people in Pumba, sending their kids to different schools, different price levels, or you can afford. There's different schools available, and of course we have fantastic safety and security. We want your kids to play freely outside without you worrying. We want you to leave your home, and if you get to close your door or lock your door, you're not worried that somebody will come and break it. This is the kind of safety and security we are building and which is existing right now. We have in Zanzibar great connectivity with more than 20 international local flights daily. There's unfortunately no direct connection to the US yet, so you will have to cross Nairobi or Ethiopia or Europe to get to the US or South Africa. But there's a lot of direct flights to Dubai, to Oman, to Qatar, to Paris, to Frankfurt, to Amsterdam, and many other places every day. So you're very well connected to Nairobi, of course, to South Africa. So you're extremely well connected in Zanzibar, and that airport is only 20 minutes from Pumba, right? So it's like extremely convenient. Property is starting at $44,900 only, with a 24 or 30 months payment plan with zero interest. On top of that, we will try to accommodate everybody's possibilities in paying. We're looking at what we can do and how we can accommodate you.
Hello?
Are you in the Zanzibar meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you didn't.
Yes, so I'm finished here also. I'm just saying, Kumba Town Development, your place in Africa, this is what we're offering. We are here to make this possible for you, and we are inviting you to make it your place in Africa. Thank you very much. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Steve, for giving us the opportunity to present this to you. We are here for you, and of course, we are now here also for you to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Sebastian, for that wonderful presentation, for these people that have joined in to listen to this, and also thank you to your family for this vision. This is a vision that I can tell you is going to live forever, because it's something that is designed for not just now but for posterity, and that's a vision that we welcome very, very well, because it gives everybody some hope for the future. And so thank you so much for what you have done here. So without wasting a lot of time, because I know it's quite late where you are, I'll ask the people who are participating here, if you have any questions, please. You can either raise your hand, you can go to the bottom there and raise your hand, or you can post it on the chat, or you can just signal me if you have any question for Sebastian and the team from CPS Zanzibar, so that we can be able to answer you. This is first of the mini series that we are going to have for the CPS diaspora and CPS Zanzibar, making this kind of presentations. But over to you, our participants. We are glad that you're here. If you have any questions, raise your hand or put it in the chat. Thank you so much. And if the team from CPS Zanzibar has have any other information besides what Sebastian has mentioned, they can also feel to share. I can see a hand up from Mitch. Go ahead, Mitch.
Yes, I'd like to ask about the healthcare system that you have there. I know it was mentioned that the healthcare system is really good there. I was wondering if someone gets sick, how does one attain health care that they might need in order to get better? What is it like? Is it like it is in the United States, or is it different?
So your name is Mitch, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So yes, Mitch and everyone. So what we have in Tanzania, so I'm first of all, we have living here. We have different options of health insurance packages that you can choose. These are mostly international health insurance companies. So you can insure yourself for, let's say, East Africa only, which is rather affordable. We're talking about something like $100 per month. If you want to be insured privately for Africa and, let's say, Europe and South Africa, that is also possible. It becomes quite expensive if you want to be health insured here and in the US, because it looks like health services are quite expensive here. So, but if you say you want, so health insurance is available on different levels. And then there's different clinics available. So in Zanzibar, for instance, you have the Urban Care Clinic, which is in Fumba Town, that can provide these basic needs, emergency services, the basic things that are available. Then we have a clinic, a global clinic in Zanzibar that is doing more extensive things. And then if it's becoming a bit more complicated, we have a very fantastic Aga Khan clinic in Dar es Salaam and in Nairobi. And if that is not sufficient, but Nairobi, everything can be done on a very high level. And I don't know the health system, which, to be very honest, in the US. I know it in Germany, and I enjoy going to Aga Khan clinic because the kind of attendance I get there is partially better than what I get in Germany now. Right? Because it is just that there's more people. And Germany has huge problem with available nurses and not enough doctors, and and all these things. But here, we have people, right? So you're being careful in a much the service level is much higher. It can well be that for a certain thing you might need a specialist that is not available here, but if he's not available here, um, for very special things, most of the people living here, they're going to India nowadays. So if it's very complex neurological or heart things, then they're flying to India, which is from Dar es Salaam around a 4 hours flight, 5 hours flight, direct flight from Tanzania. Um, but Tanzania has very good services and a lot of specialists. Also, many fields already are available, and the service quality is very, very good.
Well, thank you for addressing that. That's kind of what I was trying to meaning to refer to was like the very specialized things that one might need, such as something related to the heart or something neurological, in the brain, or something like a stroke or other things that happen. Something really, really serious. Surgeons. If I was just wondering, kind of like, are those available very easily in that country, or would you have to go somewhere else to get that service? But thank you for addressing that.
It's available. We used to, I live in Tanzania since 1991, and with my brother. At that time, I would have to tell you that we had insurances that fly you out, right? Because you would not get that treatment here. Now, I think most of the things, stroke or other things, can be handled here, and can be handled for surely in Dar es Salaam and in an absolutely international level in Nairobi and in Johannesburg. Yes.
Yeah, I have a question here from Stephen Musolwa. And his question is this project owned by people from Oman? What has Oman connected to these projects? Over to you.
Thank you, Stephen, for that question. Let me start a little bit in the history. So in the history, Zanzibar until the beginning of the 60s was part of the Sultanate of Oman. Stone Town was the capital of Oman, and the Sultan of Oman used to live in Zanzibar. And then we had the revolution, when the Omanis were kind of, while in the revolution, Omanis fled, right? Not all, but many. And Zanzibar decided to join hands with Tanzania mainland. Zanzibar was called Unguja and Pemba. Right? These are the two islands which make up Zanzibar, and became Zanzibar, basically a semi-autonomous island as part of the United Republic of Tanzania. That happened in '64, basically shortly after the independence of Tanzania. So the historical connection is that Zanzibar was part, like the coastline of East Africa, was at that time under the Sultanate of Oman. Today, it is that way that, and the Omanis who lived in Zanzibar at that time were not recognized as Omanis in Oman. They were not allowed to go back to Oman. The Sultan and Oman at that time didn't accept them as Omanis because they've been in Africa for so long. So the Omanis from Zanzibar, they were in exodus to Egypt. The president in Egypt, Nasser, at that time, took them in as refugees in '64. And so they lived in Egypt until '72. And in '72, when the son or the previous Sultan took over from his father, he invited them to come back and build Sultanate of Oman with them. At that time, it was just desert, right? And they were able to come back to Oman, and because they were highly educated. Zanzibar was one of the most advanced places in the world. We had electrical street lights before London, right? We had lifts in buildings, a very high-end Catholic education system. And so these Omanis, who were not really Omanis, were highly educated. And then they studied in Egypt, right? And Egypt at that time had a very good education sector, studying finance systems and other things under Nasser, which was very advanced for them. And then in '72, when they went back to Oman, they started building the Oman as we know it today, together with the Sultan Qaboos, who was then coming after his education in the UK. And because they were so highly educated, they all got big positions in government. And today, Oman is like that. If you don't have Zanzibar roots, you don't get a big position in the government. right? You have to have Zanzibar roots to get a big position. So all the Omani, Zanzibaris, Omanis from Zanzibar are and Swahili is considered a royal language in Oman. So when I go to Oman presenting, I'm talking Swahili only. It's considered a royal language. So there's still very close connections. The project is not owned by Omanis. It is just owned by us. The project is owned by us as a family. There's nobody else involved than my wife, my brother, and me. We own the project. But at the moment, the project is already owned by more than 1,100 clients who bought houses. And Omanis were the first who bought and invested because it was the first time after they were kicked out in '64 that they could buy back, what was home for them as well. So they bought a lot of units. But today, and our US market is bigger than the Oman market. So we have more clients in the US than we have clients in Oman. The majority of our clients are Tanzanians from Zanzibar and Tanzania mainland. And I think number two, but my brother knows these numbers better, are now clients from the US. And then clients from the Middle East, from Europe. Germany is now, I think, in position 4 or 5 because I think maybe they know we are Germans. And people don't want to be in Europe anymore at the moment. I can tell you that, right? That people are very, very afraid. So yes, but it's not owned by anybody. It is owned by us as CPS, as a company, which is us three, like I showed you, and of course our team, who are big players and big participants in the project. And it's then owned. When you buy a unit, this is your unit. So it's not mine anymore. If you buy that piece of land where your house is on, that is yours. Then it's not mine anymore. So now it's owned by more than 1,200 clients.
Thank you so much, Sebastian, even for bringing in the historical nature, because people want to understand these kind of things. I'm fortunate to have read history about Zanzibar, and what you said is really true. I learned even that when I was young, growing up, and that is the truth about that. Really. So thank you very much. So over to Steve. We are still in question a QA session here. If there's anybody with any question, any comment, anything that they want to mention, we want to give that opportunity. We want to make sure that everybody has absolutely an opportunity to ask any question. I know Naila and the team at CPS will post their emails here so that if people want to send questions via email or contact CPS, please do so. Naila, please post your email here so that others can send you any questions or any follow-up issues that they need, together with Kevin Kibe email, please, if you can post it so that we share with everyone.
I did have another question. I wanted to ask about things to do for fun in the Zanzibar area. I wondered, we all need some place to just relax when we're not working and having to do those stressful things or go to school. Are there places like parks or places that people can go to for relaxation and fun? What do people do to relieve the stress there?
Well, we're an island, so people go to the beaches, and you see that in Stone Town, for instance, all the kids in the evening, around 5, 6. You saw them jumping in the video, right? They go down to the sea, they play there. Of course, there's different sports opportunities you can do there. There's water sports, right? We're building a big sports park in Fumba as well. There's tennis, there's football, there's all these kind of sports opportunities, of course. People love going out in the evening. There's big markets in the evening, especially because, these things are concentrated in the evening because typically during daytime it's quite warm, right? So people eat after sunset. There's a beautiful fish market in Forodani in Stone Town where you can go out. There's fantastic places to visit. The art scene is really jumping and growing very strongly at the moment. Galleries and other things happening. We are one of the main sponsors of the biggest African music festival called Buzara Festival. Saudis of Buzara, happening every February. So there's a lot of music. There's the International Film Festival, African Film Festival in Zanzibar every year, where African filmmakers are coming and presenting their works. It is it is less than you would have on opportunities when you live in New York, I'm sure, right? But it is quite a bit of opportunities there because it's a very good mix of heritage, right, of Stone Town, then the beach life, of course, a lot of tourists and tourist attractions. You know, you can go see the beautiful spice farms in Zanzibar. You can go diving. There's a lot of islands. You can go on safari blue. People are going out fishing. Um, and which what you have, of course, you have Tanzania in front of you, right? And not only Tanzania in front of you. So Tanzania is like an amazing country in terms of wildlife. Kilimanjaro, if you love hiking and climbing, that's the highest mountain in Africa. Um, Ruaha National Park, Zulu National Park in the south, which is called now Nyerere National Park, which has the size of Austria, you know, a European country. Only the national park is that size. So there is so much different. You know, you have the Southern Highlands in Iringa where we're buying our fruits and vegetables. There's all organic farming happening up there, which is beautiful, which has like a mid-European climate. It's high up. So, and then of course, then you have, yeah, Nairobi, if you want to have party, you know, go out for a weekend of party, I can recommend, you meet Kevin there, he's going to show you around. It's absolutely mind blowing. The party life, the nightlife in Nairobi, you will not believe it, right? So it is more than you might think. It is not on a level that you might be used to where you're at the moment. But there's a lot of amazing things to do and a lot of things that are to do with nature. But of course, if you love party, if you love sports, all these recreational possibilities are there. A very safe environment. And just to let you know, what fascinates me most living here are the people. And that's what you will realize first. You'll meet so many wonderful, amazingly friendly, beautiful people here in Tanzania and Kenya and Zanzibar. And it is just, you know, especially coming from Germany, this is really different. That is really changing you, right? And so you go out, everybody greets you. In Germany, if I go walking on the street, right, I greet somebody, they think I'm stupid, right? So here, if you meet somebody, you greet each other. If you know this guy, it doesn't matter. But it's strange if you walk past somebody, you don't greet each other. And you know, the funny thing I've never seen, people start there, they walk towards each other, they know each other, they start talking, they walk past and continue talking, right? Parting from each other. And it's like amazing, right? There's a lot of community and life here, and it's a different style of life, and I enjoy every single day, and I'm thankful for being able to live here with my family doing business here. Very honestly.
Thank you, Sebastian, for responding that very, very well. We have two more questions here before we go to, I think, Seniors Tech Club. I don't, whose name, I think your name?
Philip.
Yeah, Phil. Okay, just before we get to you, let's hear this question answered. Is Cheche off plan?
Yes, everything we do is off plan. So there's a few units that you can buy that are already built, right? Then there are things available. But most of the things we're building off plan. The main reason is that it reduces the financing costs. Financing in Tanzania is very expensive. And also we understand that what people really want, right? You know, we're serving a global market. So if you're bringing a product to market and it doesn't sell, we understand, okay, that this, maybe we're wrong with this. It hasn't happened so far. But everything is built off plan. So you're purchasing, and then the payment plan we have is designed to secure you, right? So every time there's progress on site, like as a substructure or superstructure up, we're getting a separate or neutral consultant from the government comes and issues a certificate of sectional completion that will be sent to you, and then another payment becomes due. This is how it works. So every time you have to pay something, it's a long progress of construction. Yes, it's off plan. And I see another question here. Is this offer to native Zanzibaris, this investment, and how is it going to benefit Zanzibaris? This is a very, very important question because it's one question that drives us. Of course, Zanzibaris can invest, and they have invested strongly in Fumba, and many Zanzibaris live already in Fumba. And the main driver, of course, is that this project is injecting every month a lot of capital into the Zanzibari market. So value addition happens there, construction happens there, people get jobs there. the communities around us, if you see that, right, the villages around us, a lot of construction happening now because they're having jobs in Fumba and they're profiting. And we're trying to increase that even more by bringing more services. There's health services we're offering for free in the communities around us. And we want to do much, much more. We created more than, like I told you, more than 450 permanent jobs already with this project. And so the impact is quite enormous. We want to impact much, much, much more still. Like, you know, we're sponsoring a lot of things, like also the music festival that is again employing a lot of people throughout the year through creating this and attracting a lot of people. Yes, so Zanzibaris are absolutely part of this, and we're very working closely with the government to maximize this effect. Then I see here question, when is the project completion date? That I can't tell you because this is a town, and now we're talking the government already thinking about adding more land. You know, we have a lot of tech companies who are settling in Fumba now, American tech companies like Wasoko and others, who are bringing their tech hubs to Zanzibar because their talent loves to live in Zanzibar, right, and work. So we have more than 150 tech companies. We're creating, we have an initiative with the government and those tech companies, Silicon Zanzibar it's called, and attracting a lot of businesses to come and settle at the moment. So I think this is like a town. It's never really completed. The town will always grow in one way or the other.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Sebastian, for answering those questions very well. And I think now we'll give a chance to Phil. Phil, you had a question, please. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all. Just have two basic questions regarding personal transportation, public transportation, and grocery market infrastructure. What does that look like? How does that work for the general population that you guys are looking to build over there?
In terms of transportation in Zanzibar, is that what you're talking about, Phil?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So of course, there's all the different transportation ways. We don't have undergrounds, but we have a bus system, a public bus system that reaches Fumba already. So it's a public bus system that is in Zanzibar available. Then people when they come, often they just rent a car and drive with that car around the island, which is rather affordable. These are the basic. Of course, you can have your bike as well and do that. So, and there's buses, there's taxis, and there's shared taxis, and all these things are available.
Okay.
I think there's some kind of a service like Uber, some Uber copy is also working already. We
Okay,
have
gotcha.
Uber Town shuttle service is there, private guy offering shuttle services. It is very, 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 very easy to get around in Zanzibar.
Okay.
Thank you so much for that question, Phil, and for the response from Sebastian. I know we just passed the hour, and we wanted to be sensitive to the time for everyone. I know Kevin and Naila are here for any follow-ups as far as any questions that may be directed. Their emails are there on the line, and we will also continue to communicate those who are here and those who want to be with the CPS Zanzibar. We'll continue to send that information. I don't know whether Steve, you may want to say something before.
Yeah, just quick. I just want to thank Mr. Sebastian and his team to come and present to us. And one thing I always picture, I always imagine waking up in the morning with the sound of ocean waves and that atmosphere, that weather. Being in an island, it's something that doesn't get better than that. So thank you so much. We'll look forward, all of us, one day to be in Zanzibar there from the town and owning that dream property. So thank you so much for your time, and appreciate for, thanking everybody for joining us. So if you have any questions, like what Robert said, please contact Kevin, Nyla, and the CPS team for a follow-up and get to know about the project and be engaged in one way or another. So thank you so much for your time. That's all I.
Thank you. From our side also, thank you, Steve. Thank you, everyone, taking the time to listen to us, giving us the opportunity to let you know what we can offer. And we are here for you, right? So any question you have around getting property, living here, coming here, doing things here, even business opportunities in Zanzibar, contact us. We want to make this opportunity a real opportunity for you, right? And anything we can do, we will do. And yes, thank you, Steve and Robert, for giving us this opportunity. And I think we'll be in touch. And I think we're also planning to come to the US soon. I don't know if we have a fixed new date. That will be coming soon, and then hopefully can meet many more of you. But of course, come and visit us also, right? You're very welcome. Come and visit us in Zanzibar and get in touch with Naila and Kevin about the opportunities we have right now, which are great. And yes, thank you again. Eid Mubarak to all of you, and a good night.
Yeah, thank you. And just before, thank you, Sebastian and the team from CPS Zanzibar. We will be having an OVC Expo in Washington, D.C. on May 5 to 7, where CPS Diaspora will be also showcasing everything that the CPS is doing. So we'll be putting all this information again for all our CPS Diaspora promotion activities that we have out there. And so thank you. We'll continue to communicate, and please get Naila's number there. It is +255 774 275 648. Please call her if you need any follow-up information regarding CPS. Thank you so much, CPS team. We appreciate you, and we'll continue this kind of presentations.
Thank you so much. Have a good night. Good day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Karibuni Zanzibar. Asante.
Bye.
Yes.
Thank you.
Karibia.
Asante.
Asante sana. Thank you.
American Swahili News pamoja na Swahili Villa Online TV.
Asante.
Asante sana.
Tuna
If anybody wants to remain behind and just chat,
tuna
no problem. Feel free.
tunamalizia matangazo haya kwa presentation ambayo ilikuwa ikitolewa na CEO wa CPS Zanzibar. Hii ni kampuni ambayo inajenga kule Fumba, na alikuwa akiongea na kutoa presentation hii, au alikuwa akiwakilisha mada hii ya ununuzi wa nyumba kwa Watanzania au diasporans ambao wanaishi Marekani na sehemu zote duniani. Wana haki ya kwenda Zanzibar katika sehemu maalum ambayo imetengwa na serikali ya mapinduzi ya Zanzibar kuwaruhusu kununua nyumba ambazo zinajengwa na CPS. Kampuni hii ya CPS ambaye mkurugenzi wake mtendaji au CEO Sebastian, ambaye ni raia wa Ujerumani lakini wako Tanzania toka mwaka 1992, kama alivyokuwa akizungumza katika lugha ya Kiingereza, ni kwamba wao wako karibu kabisa na wanashirikiana na serikali ya mapinduzi Zanzibar kuuza nyumba au kujenga nyumba, na sasa hivi wanatafuta wanunuzi wa nyumba kutoka katika diaspora. Na huyo ni CEO ambaye alikuwa akizungumzia mradi huo kupitia Zoom meeting ambayo American Swahili News pamoja na Swahili Villa Online TV tuliiweka Zoom hiyo meeting kwenye channel yetu, ili Watanzania wanaoishi nje hususan hapa katika bara la Marekani pamoja na Canada. Ameongea moja kwa moja kutoka katika visiwa vya Zanzibar, na mliweza kumpata vizuri mwanzo mpaka mwisho, na kulikuwa kuna maswali ya hapa na pale kuhusiana na miundombinu, infrastructure za usafiri, mahospitali, na amejibu vizuri zaidi. Na katika Zoom meeting kulikuwa na mameneja wanaoshiriki katika kuongea na wateja ambao labda wana nia ya kutaka kuinvest Zanzibar. Kwa hiyo basi, ukitaka kujua zaidi kuhusiana na mradi huu kama uko Marekani, American Swahili News pamoja na Swahili Villa Online TV inakuomba uende cpsdiaspora.com. Utakutana na information zote na washiriki ambao wako karibu kabisa au representative wa CPS Diaspora wataweza kukuunganisha na watumishi wa CPS project ya Zanzibar katika ujenzi huu wa nyumba. Tunakamilisha matangazo haya ambayo tulikuwa tunawaleteni live moja kwa moja kutoka Zanzibar, ambapo tulikuwa tumeungana na CPS project au CEO wa kampuni ya CPS ambaye alikuwa akitoa mada jinsi ya ujenzi na uwekezaji katika visiwa vya Fumba kule Zanzibar. Huyu ni mtangazaji wenu wa siku zote wa American Swahili News pamoja na Swahili Villa Online TV. Ikirudisha matangazo haya kwa Abdul Shatri ambaye naye ataarusha. Tumekwenda zaidi ya saa nzima ili Watanzania wanaoishi diaspora wapate kujua ni kuna fursa gani Zanzibar ambazo zinaruhusu mtu yoyote ambaye si raia wa Zanzibar, ambaye ni diaspora na raia yoyote kutoka katika nchi yote duniani anaweza kwenda kuwekeza au kununua nyumba Zanzibar. Wasiliana na CPS Project au CPS Diaspora ambao wapo hapa Marekani kwa kupitia tovuti yao ya cpsdiaspora.com. Hii ni American Swahili News pamoja na Swahili Villa Online TV. Usisahau kusubscribe, kushare na kulike video zetu. Tunasema hivi, peace.